in a yoga squat. So if you're not a fan of the squatting, get a pillow or something to put under your bum, or you can even sit on the floor. So for me today, my inner thighs are really tight. So I might start on a block until everything warms up. And then your feet could be out wide, your spine could be tall, or you could be rounded. There's also a pose called Garland Pose, where your heels come together and you wrap your hands around and you bow in. So any squat will do. And this will be our first opening posture. So if you need some cleansing breaths or anything to get yourself settled, go ahead and get yourself settled while I pull up the timer. I used to love teaching Yin. And then I gave all my Yin classes away and everybody else was teaching Yin. So this is a double hip opener if you're not aware of that. So once you get into your squat, your toes could face forward or out. Most of us have a slight turned out position in this one. But if you turn your toes forward, you're going to work different muscles in your calves. So become aware of where your squat is, how deep, right? And then working the tailbone to curl under towards the heels to lengthen the spine. Today it feels good for me to have my hands at heart center. You can have your wrists level with your elbows. And then you could use your sternum to lift up and use your elbows to push open or back on the knees and push forward. So there's a lot of energy involved in getting ourselves into a yoga squat. Push into the big toe mound, the heels, and then the pinky toes. And if it feels right for your neck, you could bow all the way in and lengthen the back side of your neck. Maybe you want to look up. You could also have just a neutral spine. So Yin is a passive practice, which brings intensity on in a different way. There's no prescribed breathing method for this class, though I will encourage deep diaphragmatic breath, Dharana pranayama. Breathing in deeply and filling up your lungs completely. And breathing out fully and emptying by using your navel to lift the diaphragm. Each inhale comes in a little bit bigger, a little bit longer. Each exhale goes out a little bit stronger. Sinking into the hips, the knees, and the ankles. Earlier today when I was doing this, it felt good to take some head circles. So if you want to take some neck rolls, the shoulder shrugs. At a time when we're all being told what to do and how to do it, it's nice to know that we can come to a place on our mat and just be uniquely us. Everybody's going to feel something different in this squat. Everybody's here to release something and receive something. Breathe in and breathe out. What do you want to release? What do you want to receive? What happens when you let go of the resistance? What do you do if you find tension? Do you clench up around it? Do you try to muscle through it? Do you turn your head away and pretend it isn't there? Maybe you're so used to it, you don't even recognize it anymore. Relax your belly. So I'm going to try and catch the timer before it goes off, but when it does, that's our 1 to 5 breath mark. If you're finding some new space, you're going to stay for more breaths. If you're like, I got that 1 breath, I'm out, you're going to put your hands on the floor or blocks or support yourself. And we're just going to straighten those legs and come up into a forward fold. So your spine might want to half lift and a lengthen first, and then fold it. You could have the need to stand all the way up and stretch tall, and then fold all the way in. Feel what your body is requesting. Find the energy in your feet and root down. Soften behind your knees. Support your hands if dangling is too much work. Otherwise, just kind of hang out in this forward fold. But there was a teacher long ago. She's still young, and she was 19 when she did our teacher training. Julie, sweet Julie. Remember, she held us in a 15-minute forward fold. And I remember, I love forward foldings. And I kept thinking, wow, this feels great, until it didn't feel great. And then I was like, oh my God, how long is she going to keep us here? How long is she going to keep us here? And I got so angry that she was making me stay in this forward fold. And then at some point I smiled because I realized I have the power to leave the fold anytime I want to. So remind yourself, you are in control. And as you drape over your legs a little bit more and your body gets pulled in by gravity, relax your neck. Maybe it feels good to take neck rolls here. Soften your jaw and breathe deep. Yeah, you got it. Beautiful work. Now my shoulders will start creeping up. You can either let yours be real heavy and come towards your ears naturally, or you can work to keep yours on your back. Feel the weight in your feet and notice any swaying. So these forward folds are really good for draining our sinuses as well. It's a beautiful time of year, spring. Everything's blooming. We're spending more time outside, our sinuses are adjusted. Let the drainage happen. Become aware of your body on every level. And if it feels good to rock on your feet, rock around a little. You can feel yourself rooting right through the bottoms of your feet, connecting to the earth. But even if you did tumble over, you're not going to go far. Here and have you. Yeah, these can get tough. This gets edgy. We're not going to do your 15 minutes, though. It might feel like it right about now. Can you relax? Think about rolling your inner thigh backward and up. An inward rotation of your femur bone. Put the weight in your heel. Relax your jaw. Did you bump into any tension here? Let it go. Oh, we made it. We're at that last 1 to 5 breath mark. If you're into this, you're going to stay for a couple more breaths. If you've hit your 1, you're going to take your time and you're going to slowly ragdoll roll yourself all the way up to standing. Letting your head be the last thing to come up. We were in a deep forward fold for a long time. Once again, I'll offer some shoulder shrugs or neck roll. Check in with your breath. Root to the ground. We're not going to be here very long in this Tadasana. Just long enough for some things to settle. Pushing the ground away with your feet, but softly. Pulling your navel in and letting your sit bones reach for your heel. 2 more breaths. Soft hands, long arms. And then just for fun, we're going to take our feet out a little wider than our hips, turn the toes out to the corners, and drop back down into our yoga squat. But we're not going to stop there. We're going to drop all the way down to our bottoms. And we're going to let's take our left leg out long and bring the sole of the right foot up high for Janusirasana. But I'm going to also encourage that you could take the leg straight off the hip, or you could take your left leg out to the side for half an easy seat. So it's just going to depend on what works better for you and your body this morning. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up, but now sit back on your sit bones. If it feels like you're going to fall backwards, sit on a block or a pillow. And as you exhale, reach forward with your belly. Let your hands come down. Soften your shoulders down your back and bring your chest forward. And once you get as out as you can with your spine, now roll your chin in and let each vertebra unfold one at a time as you round in. So instead of thinking nose to knee or head to knee, think nose to hip, so that you're really rounding your spine. And what's happening is your back is rounding and all those beautiful vertebrae are separating, allowing the discs to expand. And then on the front, when we're rounding like that, we're compressing the vertebrae on the front edges, then squishing the discs and moving that fluid backwards. So go inside and feel your own anatomy for a few breaths. Where are you struggling? Right? When we go through yin, we do a little activation to get into the pose because we need our muscles to move our bones. But then we need to be passive. We need to let go of the work. And then when we find the tension after we let go of the work, we have to breathe in, breathe out. Let go of the doing. And yin is the practice of being. Just being with your body the way it is, without trying. Complete acceptance. Now, for those of you who are pretty bendy, once your head hits your knee or your leg somewhere, take your cheek to the outside edge of your left leg. You'll get a nice long crossbody stretch. Keep your shoulders square. And for those of you that your head and your knees seem still miles apart, and that's never going to happen, smile and relax. Soften your jaw. Breathe into your belly. I've watched so many people create flexibility in their bodies. I've watched so many people get strong. We can all do it. You're the only one who can do the work, though. In our world of overdoing right now, where healthy boundaries with anything seem to be lost. Setting your own boundaries, knowing who you are and what you stand for and where you're going to draw the line. Well, that's something we can practice right here in our yin. You've got 1 to 5 more breaths. And we'll just lift ourselves out of the full. If you're shooting for the longer hold, you'll lift up when you're ready. And then we're just going to step on this right foot. So once you bring the knee up, bring your arms around the front of the shin and give yourself a nice hug. Really squeeze it in around your nose. So we did a lot of rounding in that back bend. So before we twist, let's lengthen our spine. So grabbing the front of your shin, lift up, pull your chest forward, pull your shoulders down. Engage your navel as you push through your sit bones. And then lift your right arm all the way up. Get a nice big stretch in your armpit. And then windmill that arm down behind you. And then lift the left arm up. And then hook it or hug it. And then twist. And some days I gotta lean back and get some body parts out of the way. The way I've been eating lately. Get my belly out of the way. Now this back hand is a kickstand, so it's helping you stay up. But it could also leave the ground and come into a prayer in front of your heart and then practice lifting and twist. Now that's going to be a lot more active than if you support yourself. So which one can you be the most passive in and still get a good twist on? And then still let go of some of the work. What muscles do you need here? Just use them. The gaze is traveling over your shoulder, your right shoulder. For those of you a little more flexible, if you can get that armpit past your knee, you can reach for the bottom of your foot. Or you can start working the arm around the knee for the bind. Oh yeah, and if you're a binder and you're always welcome to bind. That was true. He doesn't like birds in the yard. Lengthen through the crown of your head. Beautiful twists. Nice work. Breathe deep. This would be a pose where I can start pushing pretty easy. I tend to push. I've seen a lot of people who are coasters kind of slack into this one. You've got 5 more breaths before the 1 to 5 mark. Do you need to activate? Or do you need to passivate? Or do you need to go passive? Relax the jaw, your forehead. And breathe deep into your belly. Our job is to feel good. Let yoga help you feel good. Your body's trying to help your brain, and your brain's trying to help your body. You've got 1 to 5 more breaths on this side. And if 1 was all you could take, put yourself in that edge, or you're just ready to leave. Come back through center. And we're either going to stretch both legs out long, or you're going to bend both knees and do some windshield wipers. And if you're chilling out over there because you just found new space in your twist, well, then you take your time. You do what you need to do. And then we're just going to come through to the other side. So when you extend your right leg, you're going to pull the left foot in. Maybe you use your hands, maybe you don't. Inhale, lift the arms, and don't rush to catch up to me if you're moving at a slower pace. Stay with your breath. Excuse me. Sit bones root you to the ground. Let go of that striving to be perfect if you're one of those. And then allow yourself to bring the hands down, to lean forward, to get out of the hip bowl. And then round it in. Like you're rolling your spine up. It's a beautiful seashell. Think about all those discs opening, expanding, and pushing the fluid around in your own spine. What other systems are you stimulating and circulating? For me, Yin was one of the hardest practices. Not only being still and disengaging from muscular energy. That's hard because I'm an active person. But all this stillness and alone time in the head is when those issues come out of our tissues, and they will. We get flooded with things, whether it's emotions or feelings or thoughts. So we don't want to pretend like the negative isn't there. That's just part of our lives. It's what we choose to do with it. Life is a series of choices. Being happy doesn't mean we smile all the time. We don't pretend bad things aren't happening. It just means we know things are going to get better. Now, if you transfer your attention into your neck, maybe you take a little sway of your chin side to side. Release some of that tension. Or pull your shoulders up and down. Work it out. Invite it out. Sometimes unwanted tension makes a home. And all we need to do is ask it to leave. You're at that 1 to 5 breath point. And we came right into the twist from here. But if you need to rehab yourself in any way, oh, we didn't come right into the twist, but I'm forgetting everything on the left side today. When you come out of this, we're going to step on the foot and hug that knee in. That's right. We're going to lengthen our back first. So sitting up as tall as you can by hugging the knee in. Taking your time to get there. Allowing the hips to level off. Think about this twist first. Imagine what it feels like in your body, where all your body parts are. And then take the left hand up and windmill it back behind you so you get that nice shoulder rotation and armpit stretch. And then this right arm's going to reach up. And then it's either going to hug the knee or hook over the knee. And if you got some body parts you need to get out of your way, get them out of your way. And set this twist up on this side. In the same way you set it up on the other. Going slow and exploring. Because each side's going to be different. And then remember this back arm is a kickstand, but it doesn't have to be. You could bring yourself into a prayer or a bind. You start working your body parts where they need to be. With each inhale, lengthening the spine. Each exhale, rooting you into the earth. And as you spend time softening into this pose, is there new space for you now? Or did you push too hard too soon and you get back off a little? The perfectionist in us is going to judge. We're never going to meet those expectations because perfect doesn't exist. Getting to know how we work, how you in particular, so we can let go of those judgments, insecurity, and perfection. Because it's truly our imperfections that make us unique, that make us special. If we were all perfect and the same, that'd be really boring. It's okay to have healthy perfectionism. It's a little bit of a motivator. Allows you to have nice things and keep them nice. Helps us when we set goals to know what outcomes we want. Being realistic with it, that's usually the hard part. So accept yourself as perfect and allow the imperfections to be part of the perfection. One to 5 more breaths on this side. But when you do need to leave this pose, the legs could go out straight. Let's turn that off. The legs could go out straight, or you could do windshield wipers, or I don't know. How do you need to recover, to rehab? And I know right now my hips and my back, after all the twisting and folding, is asking for a backbend. So if you'd like to plant your hands behind you and lift your heart up, your head, your chest to the ceiling, go ahead. You could even plant the feet and come into reverse table, or you could extend the legs out long and come into reverse plank. We're not going to be here for 3 to 5 minutes, but maybe 3 to 5 breaths, just neutralizing and releasing some of those tight areas and those compressed areas. And you're the master of your breath counts in those active poses, so feel free to take as many as you want. And then a pose I haven't done in a while, we'll see how it goes today, but we're going to be doing logs of fire next. So we're going to start with the left shin on the bottom, and it comes parallel to the short edge of your mat, and then the right shin goes on top. The ankle goes on top of the left knee on top of right ankle. And if there's a gap in between yours like mine, you can put a block, a book, or a pillow or a blanket in there. Or you can just let gravity help you pull it in. And if this is just not going to work for you, you bring that shin forward in front, and you can hang out there instead. So logs of fire. The name fire is in it, so there's a good chance you might feel some burning. We're going to take the arms all the way up. Sit tall and drop the shoulder blades down your back. And then just take a few breaths here. Feel yourself rooting and sitting. Yeah, good job. Those of you who can bring your palms together, go ahead, bring your palms together. Just bring a few more breaths through your body, feeling the inhale rise all the way up to your fingertips. Keep your shoulders in their sockets. And feel the breath rooting you to the earth. Set your sit bones down. Good, 2 more. And as you exhale the last one, just bring your arms out long out in front of you. And we're going to take, let's see, left hand to the right shoulder, right hand to the left shoulder. I got that wrong. Let's do it again. Take them out long. Right hand first, left hand. There we go. So now we've got the prep for eagle arms. So you could stay just like this. You could come into eagle arms, or those of you who fold, you might end up in shoelace. So you can choose to stay seated because this is edgy, right? Or you can choose to fold. And if you get to the fold, you could also choose to shoelace the arms. Just pay attention to what arm is on top. I think I subconsciously switched mine, but I got the right arm on top, and it should be the right arm on the bottom. Left arm on top, right arm on the bottom. Just pay attention to which one yours is so you get it right on the other side. And if you're folded and you need to prop your head up with a blanket or a pillow or a block, then prop it. Otherwise, let the chin round in. And breathe into these hips. And think about, if you're folded forward, rolling those sit bones back down into the ground. And if you're seated, smile and breathe. I know there's a lot taking place in this pose, no matter where you're at. And as you breathe, soften your jaw. Pay attention to what's tight. And then breathe into that. You have the power to release it, and you had the power to put it there. We often think of things just happening to us, and sometimes they do. Most of your life is the result of what you've created. Most of that creation begins in our mind. So if we don't like the life we've created, we can just create a new one. Why is that so hard? Habits and comforts. Change is hard. It's unknown. It's uncomfortable. It's not usually welcoming. Breathe into this change. Let it happen. Welcome it in. Last 1 to 5 breaths. If you were folded, well, lift up when you're ready. If you're taking those last 5 breaths, please don't lift up early. Now, if you have a strap or some type of arm lengthener, you can grab it now unless you don't need it. But we're going to wrap the strap around the bottom of our right foot and then take that leg out nice and long. Turn the sole of the foot to the wall or to the ceiling if your hamstrings are open. And just get a nice extension on that leg as we release. And if you need a different type of release, go ahead. The other one right now that my body wants is to pull that leg back behind. And not only pull that leg back behind, so now that the right knee is bent and the big toe is on the ground, I also want to lift this hip up a little bit. So pushing into the left hand and reaching the right hand up. Another release in the hip. And this doesn't have to be a long hold. It could be a half breath. And we're just releasing side A to move into side B. When you're ready to bring the right shin forward, you're going to bring that forward. And then the left goes on top. Now, each side is going to present a whole different thing for you. So be mindful that each side is different. And if you're extremely discomfort here and you need propping, prop. If you're like, wow, check it out, this side's amazing, smile. Reach the arms up and put your shoulders away. Pull the rib cage back in. Breathe into your belly. Soften and smile. Be you in the pose. Reach the arms forward. Get it right this time. Right hand on top, left hand next. Get that right one later. Yeah. All right. We'll see how that goes. Give yourself a nice big hug. Sit up. So one way or another, you're opening your arms, your shoulders, and your back. Work working out some tension in your upper back as we work these hips as well. And if you choose to come forward into the fold, then we're shoestringing. It should be the left arm on bottom and the right arm on top. But opposite of what you did last time, so don't worry if those shoelaces are wrong. And if you're seated, you could enjoy that hug or eagle arms. So as we come into a shoelace pose, we're opening up our back body, or that hug or eagle arms. And think about your heart. Think about it between your shoulder blades on your back body. Give it more room. Let it expand. What are your hips doing? What about your belly? Become aware of your breath. Are you trying to be anywhere in this pose? Those things you want to run away from. What is that? Where is that? Why is that? And are you ready to release it? Stop running. Stop resisting. There you are, your last 1 to 5 breaths. And that sweet release is either strapping or grabbing the foot. Extend that left leg out long. Or if your arms needed some shaking or rehabbing, you'll rehab your arms. After releasing the hamstring, this hip isn't as cranky on me as the other one, but I'm still going to release that hip, bending the knee, planting the right hand, and lifting the left hand up, and then even lifting the hips and pushing them forward just to release. There's a lot of prana can build up in these postures, and doing a yang pose or an energy pose to release it is really good. And if it doesn't release enough of it, feel free to let a cleansing breath out. When you come on down, we're going to roll all the way down onto our backs, but we're coming up onto our side body. So let me try that again. If you want to float your boat all the way down the backs, you can. It's yin, so I'm not going to cue it. But when you get on your back, let's roll onto our left side. If you choose your right first, it doesn't matter. We're going to do both sides. But I want you to lay all the way out on your left side and stretch your arm out and put the palm down and lay on your bicep. And then stack the hips and the shoulders to the best of your abilities. If you're really wobbly here, bend your knees a little bit and make a little kickstand. You can use your right hand in front of your chest or your ribs as a kickstand as well. And then the straighter you go, the more wobbly you're going to be. So however wobbly you want to be, right? We often think about balancing poses as standing on our feet or spinal balance crunches. But right here, Vishnu's couch, just stretching your body and laying on your side can be a lot of work. And you can keep this left arm long, or you can bend the elbow and bring the hand to support your cheek right in front of your ear. And then we're going to support the right hand down. And if you don't need it, you're going to put it on your hip. I'm going to need it today. We're going to bring the right knee forward and then extend it long. We're just going to prime this hip. So about 3,000 should be enough. Just kidding. 2 more. Some of you are like, yeah, let's do 3,000. And some of you are like, yeah, this is yin. And so after the next time you bring it in, let's come into that tree pose. And so you can hang out right here in your tree pose. And if stacking your foot on top of your thigh or your knee or your calf doesn't work, you could always set it on the ground in front of you or behind you. Right? So those are 3 options right there. I'm getting a good release in my piriformis with my leg behind me right now. And the other option is to bend the knee and reach for the big toe and then come all the way into Vishnu's couch. And then we want the hips to come forward and to lengthen the leg. Now holding on to the leg and the toe isn't where the work is at. I mean, that's, for some people, they're going to need to go there to feel wobbly and balancy. But if I had to pick which one was actually better for my body today, I'm going to have to pick this one because I'm getting some sweet release in my piriformis. So that's why I usually give people so many gosh darn options in all my classes, because I don't know what your body needs as well as you do, right? And if you listen to your body's going to tell you what you need. And if we listen to our ego is going to tell us what it thinks you need, what it saw somebody else do. You might live within our judgments and in our insecurities. That's why we're letting go of the ego. It's not bad. We don't hate it. It's just only a very tiny piece of who we are. But it tends to be the loudest voice in our head. But listen to this heart. For some of you, this could end up a nice jaw set, a reset. We hold so much tension in our jaw. We're also trying to get our armpit flat on the ground. So how much space can you create? How much length out of your side body? Keep pushing the hips forward if the balancing is getting easy for you. And if you're in a tree-like pose, keep the knee going up to the ceiling, but keep your foot flat. And if you're full on into Vishnu's couch, don't let your butt stick out. Feel that wobble on your side body. It's good for us. So Vishnu's couch is also one of the early yin poses. I'm not sure this one's in the Hatha Yoga Pradipika. Yoga has gone through so many changes and facelifts over the years. Finding the right method for you and your body. That's the right yoga. Here we are. Last 1 to 5 breaths. We're going to meet on our bellies. So if you had that one breath, you're going to reposition yourself and land on your belly on the middle of your mat. If you're still hanging out for a few more breaths, we'll meet you there when you get there. You might want to stretch out both legs long first. I bet you can all get to your belly without me describing it. Now we're going to pull the elbows in underneath the shoulders. We're coming into Sphinx. It's a big back bend for a lot of people. So if you're tight across the shoulders and the neck, you're probably going to need to have your elbows out in front of your shoulders, which is going to drop heavy into your low thoracic spine. So be prepared for a big back bend way down here. And the further you can walk the elbows in, the further up the spine it travels. So then it should get towards the mid-thoracic. Don't worry if you're not feeling it there. Zip up the legs, push the toenails down, let the knees lift, let those hips settle into the mat, and then relax your legs. Your heels might fall out. You might walk your feet out. Just relax. Push the ground away with your hands and then pull forward with your chest, lifting your gaze. If your neck is okay with that, you can keep your chin tucked in if you need to. This is a pretty edgy pose for a lot of people, so breathe deeply. No breath would be too big here. Stretching from your belly. Let the shoulders come away from your ears. While we finish this last little bit here in our Sphinx pose, let's take 3 rounds of lion's breath. So let's take a cleansing breath first. Big breath in through the nose. Open your mouth and sigh it out. Inhale deeply through the nose. Stick out your tongue and roll your eyes up. 2 more. That's it. Beautiful work. Now we got to take our Vishnu's couch on the other side. So you might need to rehab for a moment by stretching the arms out long and dropping the chin or your forehead to the mat. Take as many recovery breaths as you need. And then we're going to roll onto the right side and take our Vishnu's couch. So since you know where you're going, there's no need to hurry. And I don't know if this side's going to be your better side or not. Long stretch as that armpit works out as long as it can on the ground. And then we bring the hand to support the cheek in front of the ear. Left hand in front of the hip, the ribs or the chest. Maybe yours are down by your hips. I don't know. If you're wobbly, bend the knees a little. If you're working on some wobbly, straighten the legs. And once you're stable, it's just 3 knee preps. Pull it in, take it out. This is to feel your own stability and flexibility, so you know what to shoot for. Trust your body. And so you're either going to come into a tree pose with your foot on top of your thigh, in front of your thigh, or behind your thigh. Or you're going to come into full-on Vishnu's couch and go up for the bind. Once again, my body has picked a different place for me to work. While the bind is fun, I'm actually going to get a release in this hip by staying in tree pose. So pick the posture that's going to benefit you the most and breathe. Beautiful work. Keep breathing. Relax a little. A lot of work in this pose. Find the ease. And if there's a lot of ease in this pose, look for a little effort. Not a lot. It's yin. It's passive. Remember, we're here to release. We're also here to receive. Last 1 to 5 breaths. And the next meeting place is Shavasana. So you could roll onto your belly and take it there, or onto your back. You could stay on your side and take it in feel. Only you know where you need to be. And if you decided on your back and you need to hug those knees in, give yourself a squeeze. And I'm going to set you up to drift off into a Shavasana. And I want you to linger there as long as you like. So as you find yourself into this really comfortable place, I want you to relax your face, unhinge your jaw. If you need to move your head around, or soften into your hips and back. Release any breath control. Let it become natural. I'll let you know when Shavasana is over. Gently bringing yourself back to awareness. Allowing the breath to come back in, a little bigger, a little stronger, until you can send it all the way down to your toes and little your toes. Maybe make little fists and stretch your toes and close them and stretch them. Push through the balls of your feet and the soles of your feet. Send your next exhale all the way out to your fingers. Wiggle your fingers, roll your wrists. Smile. Take that nice, big, long body stretch, reaching from tip to toe. Maybe a couple cleansing breaths while you do that. And you can choose to stay on your back, or you can come to a seat. But we'll conclude this practice with an Om. And you can join in if you'd like, or you can listen. Once you get to your bottom, feel that security underneath you. Both your sit bones and your tailbone supporting you. And to produce a good quality Om, let's take a cleansing breath first. Big breath in through the nose. Big breath out through the mouth. This one we Om. Inhale deeply. Om. I thank each of you from the bottom of my heart for being here with me and each other today. Thank you. Happy Saturday. Namaste. Thanks, everyone.